What strategies did you use to attract so many users to your apps?
Nice question. So I used to try out everything in the past to gain and attract millions of users. Today, it's much harder to attract customers due to the saturation and maturity of the app stores. But back in the day, we tried out a lot, starting from recommendation apps like App of the Day. We did guerrilla meme campaigns via 9gag, Reddit, and other user forums tailored to the app topic. We did a lot of direct marketing additionally, and obviously specific social media postings on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and also influencer campaigns. I think especially TikTok can work very well nowadays if used correctly and if you understand the specific mechanics and behaviors and also tastes of the platform and your customer. Um, we gained a lot of users without paying even a dime. It was a lot of hard work, emails, just plain manual labor. But yeah, we managed all of this without spending any money. And what we also worked a lot with was ASO, so App Store optimization. That was a really quite nice lever. Today, my strategies would be pretty similar, always suited for the specific target group. And what I think is currently a hidden champion for specific niches like productivity and B2B business in general is LinkedIn as a platform. And especially for apps, it's not that saturated currently.
Do you think using frameworks that allow parallel development for websites and apps is a good idea?
Yeah, sure. Using cross-platform frameworks for app development is a great idea and suitable for most use cases. Although there are business models and scenarios where it might not be the best choice, but in most cases and for most ideas out there, a cross-platform approach outshines the native one because cross-platform development has many advantages. It's faster, it's easier maintenance, it's cost efficient, which is probably the biggest factor. On the organizational side, it's way easier to hire a web expert than a native Kotlin or Swift developer. I think that's especially true for the German market. Um, so yeah, it's often a good idea, especially if your core business is not heavily reliant on an app or website, and if your revenue streams aren't bound to a digital or online service. While the advantages are compelling, there are also some considerations to keep in mind. If your business is a mobile first business and your revenue generation is heavily dependent on app development, software development, and so on, I would look more closely and evaluate other options because it's quite a delicate and nuanced decision because of potential performance and complexity issues in cross-platform development and access to native features. And it's always a quality aspect and consideration in it.
How much time and resources do you regularly invest into maintenance and updates of your apps?
That is a quite tough question, actually, because it's hardly depending on the importance of the app, on the user base, the maturity, uh, the tech stack that are the factors from my experience, because there are apps which I didn't update and maintained in the last 3 years at all, and they are still working pretty fine. Others, though, are frequently maintained and updated like on a monthly basis, because maintenance is part the regular development process for that kind of apps. And I would say development of new features would be like half of the development time, I guess. And about 30% of the time is allocated towards bug fixing, maintenance, refactoring, tackling long-term debt, or used for infrastructure kind of. In the end of the day, a good app needs to be maintained all of the time to keep the user experience fresh and engaging, which is essential for retaining users over time.
In your opinion, what makes a good app idea?
So a good app idea, in my opinion, starts with a clear solution to a well-defined problem for a specific user. Simple as that. Are there other ways to solve a problem at hand? If yes, then an app solution is probably not the best idea. Because from my experience, the idea should be developed starting from the user's perspective and not the other way around. Because a lot of cases and what I experienced from the past is that a lot of companies try to jump on the train to develop an app just to have an app, not knowing why they are developing apps at all. And in my opinion, most of the apps currently out there in the Play stores shouldn't exist in the first place. So you should always ask yourself how to solve the problem the best way. Are there other options like a website, a hardware tool, a service? If the answer to all of this is no, then you should consider developing an app to tackle and solve the specific problem at hand and of the user.